Now, down to some serious business. Well, actually, it's business, but not all that serious. You have seen actor and writer John Cleese over the years in a variety of unorthodox roles. You might remember him first from his Monty Python days, which included a stint at the Ministry of Silly Walks. Since Python days, he's also been the apoplectic Basil Fawlty on Fawlty Towers, and the star of a number of films, including A Fish Called Wanda, which he also wrote. As the current on-air representative for Schweppes beverages, he appears regularly on television, here and in Britain.
It's becoming ever more difficult to surround oneself with absolute, uncompromising quality, which is why I take such extraordinary pleasure in telling you about Schweppes. With its unique Schweppescence and distinctively refreshing taste, it may be the last oasis of true excellence in an otherwise vast desert of compromise. Cheers.
What you may not know about John Cleese, though, is that almost 20 years ago, he founded a company to make business training films. Films that have become tremendously successful. And, well, let him explain.
Hello, I'm Meryl Streep. Sorry, I don't know why I said... Oh, yes. Yes, I was out at dinner last night, and conversation turned to the subject of Meryl. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is I'm not Meryl Streep, and I apologize to Meryl for claiming that I am. Well, clearly, it's certainly not to deceive you. No, I am John Cleese, and I'm here to tell you about the fact that in 1972, I formed a company to make management and sales training films. And Meryl Streep is not in this company, incidentally. And I formed it because I reckoned we could sell it in about 5 years and make a fast buck. And then I made a disastrous mistake. I got interested.
How do you do?
The training films are usually about 20 to 25 minutes long, and they take a particular subject, usually from management or sales or customer relations, and 90% of our films treat it humorously.
Hello, Reggie.
Hello there, young man. What can I do you for, then?
Well, I've got a big client waiting outside. He needs to see an AP 700 straight away, and I'm fresh out of samples. Just one.
Certainly, my friend. You got the IOF 7?
Ah. Well, you see, the landline to Birmingham's down, and I thought, you know, as it's urgent, just this one.
Sorry, chummy, you know the rules. No paperwork, no can do. Got to have the docket. Rulebound Reggie is a very familiar figure in Britain. This is the guy who sticks literally to rules. He's not interested in the spirit of the law. He's only interested in the letter of the law. And, of course, he gets in everyone's way.
Do the paperwork later. Have you run stark staring mad?
Just this once, Reggie.
Anarchy. That's what it is. Ruddy anarchy. There you are, young whippersnapper.
Thanks, Reggie. I owe you one.
Now then, Mr. J, as it's a special case, we'll be needing a transfer docket, a requisition slip, and an internal order form.
John, I can't work like this. I know you're used to all this pressure, but before you came, at least I knew where I was.
The same thing happened last month, damn it.
It's not my fault. Don't blame me.
Now, in the case of Moaning Minnie, you've got someone who just complains all the time.
I still can't get the hang of those digitator image scanning.
Digitizers, image scanners.
Yes, well, whenever I put a photograph in, it comes out all fuzzy.
Yes, all right, thank you, Minnie. Yes, yes, thank you, Minnie. Tremendous. So helpful. As always, just get on with it, please. Thank you.
What we're trying to get across in these films is the idea that you can change people's behavior without essentially changing them.
So, can you change her character so I get more action and less whinging?
No, Master.
No?
No one can change her character, Master.
What do you mean?
Well, her behavior can be changed, perhaps, but not her character.
Well, change her behavior, then.
But only you can do that.
What are you talking about?
This is a good woman you have here. A good employee, O star of the Silver Sea.
Nonsense, you just heard her.
I heard you, Master. I have been in the lamp, remember? You come in here with a new system, which I'm sure is a fine system, Lord of my life. But you give Minnie no time, you make no consultations of deadline, you shun all discussions, you treat her like a slave.
Slave? You should see a newspaper office.
You are not running a newspaper office. This is the world of business where management is a skill and not a shouting match, O tree upon which the fruit of my life is hung. The humor arises out of watching people doing the lesson that we're trying to teach incorrectly, and then finally, of course, showing it in the correct form.
The rules for dealing with Reggie are the rules for dealing with everyone. But with Reggie, they're especially important. Don't play his game, make him play yours.
Now, you know as well as I do, Mr. Jackson, rules is rules.
Well, do it now, please, Reggie.
Make him part of the whole operation.
We normally have the department's weekly meetings in my office on Tuesday mornings. I think it'd be a good idea if you sat in on those.
Weekly meeting?
Congratulate him when he behaves the way you want.
I just came in to thank you. I can't believe how fast you managed it all.
Oh! I realize now that the last few years of video arts training films have all been about trying to reassure managers that it's all right to be less egotistical, that they'll still be safe.
Can we stop the camera?
Yes, certainly. Cut.
Ah. The red light's still on.
Yes, it's just cooling down.
Only it is a bit personal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, supposing the worst happens.
Worst?
Yes, you know, this coaching thing. I mean, say it actually works.
Ah.
And I was wondering, where does that leave me? You know, my staff will be doing the kind of work that's always been my personal strength, and I'll look absolutely useless.
Didn't quite catch the last bit.
I'll look useless.
This is a film I wrote about 9 months ago, and it's almost the film that I'm most proud of. It's trying to persuade managers that it is safe and indeed first-class management to take tasks which are normally theirs and to show members of their staff how to do these tasks.
Everyone will see that I'm not really doing anything. You know, people will say, look, they'll say, pointing, they'll say, look at that useless prat. I mean, he's not absolutely invaluable, is he? I mean, his department runs without him.
Yes, excuse me. That is the single greatest compliment that anyone can pay a manager. Anybody who is brilliant enough to build a machine that runs itself is to be envied. Officer.
Now, I'm not going to pretend that reading a balance sheet is equivalent to sculpting David, but it's the same fundamental process. And I think if businessmen understood a little bit better how to be more creative, they would first of all come up with better solutions, and secondly would feel more kinship with the people in their organizations who are creative, with whom perhaps they normally feel a little uncomfortable. Yeah, fax your secretary over them. I mean, get your secretary to bike over a fax. Okay. See nothing in your letter that justifies the establishment of a full network. Yes, Simon. Okay, right. And let me know if you can get that rep to Huddersfield tomorrow morning, will you? Pronto. Cheers.